See, all the results in your life are coming from your rituals. They start with a standard and then have rituals that follow it up. Like, for example, if you are where you want to be physically, you have very different rituals than if you're not where you want to be physically. If you're overweight, you and I both know you got a different ritual than if you're physically fit. Completely different. You get up in the morning, what's the first thing you do if you're fit? Your shoes are there, you roll over, doesn't matter how you feel, you put on your shoes, you lace them, you start walking, or whatever that ritual is. If you're overweight, you roll over and you have a very different ritual. You might roll over several times to turn the alarm clock off. You go in and get your mocha, smocha, whatever, special coffee. You stop by at Starbucks, whatever the case may be. You have your nice sugar muffin. It's supposed to be really nice for you. Whatever you do, it's a different ritual. If you have a great, passionate relationship, you have very different rituals in how you come home than if you have a lousy relationship. When you come home and the first thing you do is you're tweeting somebody or you're emailing or flipping on the news or you don't even come home. What are the rituals? Whenever I study people that are successful, what I look for is what's the standard they hold themselves to? And then what are all those little rituals that add up? Because think about it. Success and failure are not giant events. They don't just show up. You don't just suddenly become successful or suddenly have this cataclysmic event that makes you fail. It may look that way, but failure comes from all the little things. It's failure to make the call. It's failure to check the books. It's failure to say, I'm sorry. It's failure to push yourself to do things physically that you don't want to do. And all those little failures day after day come together until one day some cataclysmic event happens and you blame that. That event happened because you missed all the little stuff. Do you agree with me?
And I hope that you won't settle. Don't settle for less than you can do or be or share or give. And to make your life a masterpiece. It doesn't matter COVID, it doesn't matter political unrest, it doesn't matter racial unrest. Every human problem, humans created and humans can solve. And I think that's not being optimistic, it's just looking at how humans have functioned for history. And you got to remember who you are. Like Siri said, it's like, you're not a statistic. You look around, of course most people aren't happy. Most people are not physically fit. Most people don't have a great relationship. Most people are not doing well financially. But a few are. And my life's focus is understanding the few who do and figuring out what they do differently and getting us to do the same. And that's what this week's been about. That's what our seminar is about. I just want to thank you for inviting me into your home. Let me share this time with you. And KK is going to finish up with a couple of these important announcements. And again, if you want to come to the event, we're now 85% sold out. We'd love to have you. But whatever happens, don't settle.
And how does the guy win by 1/100th of a second? Do you think that was some massive skill that got him over the top? Or was it a standard that says, this is who I am? I am the champion. And no one is taking this from me. And somehow in those final milliseconds, 100th of a second, he pushed himself just beyond his competitor. But you know about Michael Phelps? What allowed him to be able to push beyond that moment is his rituals. Go study the guy. Most people who swim have these unbelievable workouts. He does 2 and 3 of those workout sessions a day. All the other swimmers in the beginning thought he was insane. You're going to overtrain, you can't do that, it's not physically possible. But he had a standard and the rituals to back it up. So here's my final message to you, because I've gotten carried away. I thought I was going to send you like a 5-minute message, but as you can see, there's no script here. It's just me going a little crazy with you. But I want to really see you get what you want this year. Don't let this year be like last. And if last year was great, still don't let it be that way. Raise the standard. If your life is perfect and extraordinary, you darn well know you're not going to be happy unless you keep making it better. That's what makes us feel alive. It's not what we get that makes us happy. It's who we become and what we're able to give because we become more. That sense of contribution is what creates the deepest meaning. So here's my assignment for you, if you want one. If you want to go from conversation to some action, here's a simple thing to do. What's an area of your life right now that you really want to improve? What's an area that's important to improve? If your body's great, how about your career? If career's great, how about your relationships? Intimate one especially, or your kids, or your relationship with your creator, your spiritual side of your life. Or is it your finances? Figure an area that really matters. Decide on that area. Number 1, write down what your life is like in that area right now as specifically as possible. So you might say, well, I'm 13.5 pounds overweight, whatever the weight is, whatever the situation is, or my body fat's like this, or I wake up exhausted in the morning, and you write the truth of where you are right now. So you're real clear. Or I'm not in a relationship. I say I want a relationship, but I'm not in one, and I don't seem to find them. All the good ones seem to be gone is my belief. You know, and I really do want one, but I don't have it. Whatever your definition. Or I'm in a relationship, and God, I wish I wasn't in a relationship. I'm planning my escape. Wherever you are. Or I have a wonderful relationship. We love each other, but there just isn't enough passion. Just write the truth of where you are. The area you want to change, but write how it is.
So meditation is a tool. Everything done all week for increasing your energy by movement is a tool. Changing your biochemistry by cleansing the body, but not doing it in a harsh way. Many people go on cleanses and they're exhausted. What I wanted him to do is give you a few things that make a difference. And I just got to tell you, if you haven't had a metals test, the next time you get a blood test, please get a metals test. I found myself a few years ago, I went through the situation with my shoulder, but I was also like wondering, what's going on? I'm feeling more exhausted now. I was doing like 2019, not last year, because they shut down the world, but 2019, I went to 118 cities. I went to 16 countries, and that's been my typical schedule. Like every 3 days, I was on a plane, a train, a helicopter, on stage somewhere. But I was like, I know I'm exhausted, but that's natural, but it felt more. And then I started not forgetting things. And I was like, wait, I'm way too young to be forgetting stuff. This is ridiculous. And everybody forgets things at times. But it was getting ridiculous, like nothing I'd ever experienced on stage. And I went and got these blood tests, and I ended up having mercury poisoning at the highest level they'd measured. It goes from 0 to 5, I was at 123. So I tell you that because getting that out of my system was one of the most important things I could do. And it's taken me 2 years. I went from 123 down to 9. I'm still way more than I need to be, but the amount of progress we've made has been huge. And this specific smoothie that we're talking about has made more progress almost than anything I do. So I'm going to put it on the screen for you here. We made one real fast while he's talking, so you can take a picture if you want, just so you can get started tomorrow if you want. Shows you all the ingredients. Just take a quick picture, and that way you can get started on that. But lemon water, well, the celery juice we do every day. That's how Sage and I start our day. And then this is, for me, I do this a little later in the day for my detox. Been unbelievable, the change in energy. And what he said also, what Anthony said about this idea that people just start accepting that we all are supposed to have these issues once they turn 30 or 35 these days. People even at that age are starting to feel all these symptoms. It's a part of our lifestyle, and we've got to give that energy back. So this is our gift to you. Go do these 3 simple little things and do it for the next 21 days minimum. Who's up for that? 21-day challenge for you to make this happen? Say aye.
Now, pretty basic idea, nothing earth-shattering, but I'm here to tell you that's your entire life comes down to this. The quality of your entire life comes down to the quality of how you communicate. With whom? No. With whom first do you think it determines how you... That's right. The quality of your life starts with the quality of how you communicate to yourself. That's where it all starts. How you feel is not based on the environment. Is it based, like how you feel? Is that determined based on, like, whether or not you have lots of money? Yes or no? I think a little mixed reaction on that one. They go, well, no, it's not. No, absolutely not. No. How's that for incongruent communication from a lot of you? Okay, some of you have a little mixed feelings about this, don't you? Let me ask you a question. How many of you know somebody who has tons of money and is still not happy? Interesting. How many of you know somebody who doesn't have any money at all but seems to be very happy? So does money determine your happiness, yes or no? How many know if you had lots of money, though, you'd be happy, you're different? Okay. If I had your money, I'd be happy, no problem. Give me your money, we'll try, okay? People say money can't buy happiness, don't know where to shop. Now, see that's not going to do it, is it? It's not the money, it's how you communicate to yourself about money, your lack of it, or the abundance you think you have. By the way, can people have an abundance but communicate to themselves that they're still in scarcity, yes or no? Absolutely. So money doesn't do it. Is how you feel determined by whether or not the weather is good? Yes. Oh, really? Are there people in freezing weather who are very happy, yes or no? Are there people in hot weather that are very happy, yes or no? Are there people that are in either one of those weathers in the opposite? you that have opposite feelings? Has that transferred you out yet? Yes. See, the weather doesn't determine it. Is it, whether you're happy or not, determined by whether or not other people say they love you? You go, yes, but it shouldn't. So you sit there and should all over yourself, huh? Okay. You're right, it probably shouldn't, but a lot of us connect that real directly. But I got a question for you. Somebody comes up to you and they tell you, I love you. Or they come up and they hug you, or they look at you that certain special way. Or they kiss you passionately, and you have these feelings inside. You begin to come to attention, gentlemen. Now, when all that stuff happens, my question for you is, what made all that happen? Was it really the kiss that did it? Oh, yes, sure. No, I don't think so. If that's true, kissing your dog would get you excited. It wasn't a kiss. It was the meaning you associated to that particular moment when tissue touched tissue in that unique way. That's really it, isn't it? It isn't actually... Yes! It isn't actually the event itself, is it? It is rather what we communicated to ourselves about that event. Somebody hugs you and you feel good. Do they make you feel good? Yes or no? No. What makes you feel good is you've got a set of rules inside your head that say, if somebody touches me quite like this, they look like that, sound, smell, feel like this, then I get to say, ooh. Okay. And so you say, okay, it's time to feel good, and your brain goes, and you start feeling good. Right? So the bottom line is we determine how we feel by the way we communicate to ourselves, by the meaning that we communicate about a situation. See, it's not the event that determines how we feel. It's the meaning that we associate to the event that determines how we feel. And that meaning is something we create and we communicate to ourselves.
Everybody has a turn back moment. Everybody has a crossroad. You can either decide to continue or to go forward or to go back.
I need you to evaluate yourself and ask yourself the question, how are you wired? When you have a trial or a tribulation, how are you wired? When you hear the word no, does it break you? I'm wired differently. I get excited about no. I love no. I love it. It turns me on. No, Eric, I'll be back. I'll be strong. I ain't the clock in 20 years. My passion wakes me up. My drive wakes me up. My determination, my ability to be, do, and have whatever I want, it wakes me up. What wakes you up? What drives you? Why are you playing this game?
When you leave this room, you take care of doggone every single thing. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your background is. Don't let nobody fool you. If you're willing to grind on Monday, if you're willing to grind on Tuesday, they can't stop you. I don't have to accept the life that was given to me. I can create my own reality. It's you, it's on you. You got to make that happen. Nobody's going to bring it to you on a silver platter and say, here's your dream manifested. No, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's difficult. Yes, right? And it's worth it.